Hi, if you want to watch exclusive content with hot girls that you won't watch on YouTube, namely where Naruto roasts Kushina and Mikoto and many other hot girls without restrictions, then visit my Boosty channel at the link in the description. Today was October 10th. There were a lot of people on the streets of one of the great villages of Konoha. All these people wanted only one thing to punish their offender. And by the way, about him, now a little boy with blonde hair was moving along the roofs like a mouse. He had blue eyes like the sky, and he was dressed in a black t-shirt and shorts of the same color, and on his feet were worn shinobi sandals. The guy tried as much as possible not to get caught by the residents who were below. But life decided otherwise, and as soon as our hero decided to jump over the roof, a stone hit him, from which the trajectory of his flight changed and he began to fall down to the ground. But I repeat once again, life gave him not only a kick in the ass, but also helped in some way. He fell on bags of garbage, thereby laughing at the fall from the first floor. Resident, here he is, grab him. Resident 2, go ahead, don't miss him. The residents shouted and hurried to grab the boy, but he quickly made a somersault and hurried away. But after catching a couple dozen stones, he fell like a limp doll and began to await his fate. Residents, grab him, guys. Everyone started shouting and started beating the boy with their hands, feet, sticks and everything that came to hand. And the ANBU who were sitting on the roof just watched and laughed at every request for help from the boy. This whole show ended in a few hours. The residents left, and the boy was left lying in a pool of his blood. But he didn't lie there for long, and with his last strength he began to crawl to the nearest wall. Surprisingly, in his condition, he crawled very quickly and sat down, leaning against the wall, took a photograph out of his pocket, which was all covered in blood, and it was no longer clear what was depicted on it. Man, interesting idea. Someone said from the farthest and darkest corner of the street, and the boy looked there and saw a man with 2 scarlet red eyes and 3 tomo in each of them. Boy, well, how did you like the performance? Man, yes, I watched it from the very beginning to the very end with pleasure. Boy, I'm happy for you. But now I'll ask you for help. Man, why are you asking me for help without even knowing my intentions and goals? Boy, he has the same eyes as me, you can trust him. After all, we also went through terrible pain and lost everything that was dear to us. Man, then I will introduce myself. I am Madara Uchiha. The man came out of the dark corner into the moonlight, and the boy saw long white hair that hid the old man's face and the old man himself, who was dressed in a black kimono and the same pants with sandals. Boy, and I am Naruto Namikaze Uzumaki. Madara, so I won't have to tell you everything, because you already know everything. Naruto, I will destroy the village for what it did to me and to the memory of my family. Madara just nodded and approached Naruto, lifted him with extraordinary ease and put him on his shoulder, went to that very dark corner in which these two disappeared. Our hero just smiled and his eyes became dark blue and there was complete emptiness in them, as if there was no life. After that, Madara smiled and was already making plans for our hero. Several weeks had passed since the day Naruto joined Madara, and now our hero was sitting in the Uchiha's secret cave. He was carefully reading one of the scrolls with the technique that Madara kindly provided him. I can say that Uzumaki had been studying the scrolls since the very beginning of his arrival in this mysterious place, and almost never left the room. And when Uchiha asked why he didn't go out, he answered that everything he needed was in his room. Naruto, stop entering my room without permission. Madara, sorry, I just came to tell you that you need to not only develop your mind, but also develop physically. Naruto, I know, and I can tell you that I have already begun to develop my body. Madara, good. And soon another student of mine will join us. Naruto, okay, I hope he can teach me something. Madara, yes, of course he can. Naruto, before I forget, I ask you to bring me the scrolls on the possession of Kenjutsu and the katana. Madara, okay, but from tomorrow you will stop sitting in your room. I didn't take you so that you would sit in isolation. Naruto, I understand. Madara, that's great. At this point, Madara simply disappeared, and our hero was left alone with himself. I won't keep you waiting and let's move on to the next day. Our hero had been sitting at the scrolls since early morning, but he was suddenly distracted by the creak of the door. Naruto, yes, Madara, what is it? Madara, follow me. At this our hero only stood up and left the room and followed Uchiha. The two did not walk for long, about 5 minutes, and entered some huge hall, in the middle of which was a huge statue. But Naruto also noticed out of the corner of his eye a man with a scar on his face and short black hair. Madara: Naruto is Obito. Naruto: I'm Naruto. I hope we can find common ground. Obito: I hope so too. The two shook hands and turned to Madara, looking at him as if they were waiting for something. Madara: and so today you both live in the same room, and also do everything together. Naruto: one question. Why? Madara: because after my death you will help each other to fulfill your plans and my goal. Obito: good. Naruto: okay, I'll do whatever you say, just to destroy Konoha. Madara: that's good, now you can rest for now. Obito: show your room to Naruto. Obito: follow me. Our hero just nodded and followed Uchiha. They left the hall and immediately went into the room opposite. And this room was simply huge. There were 2 beds in this room, as well as 2 nightstands. Everything else was occupied by either cabinets with scrolls or sports equipment, punching bags, horizontal bars, parallel bars, dumbbells, weights, barbells, etc. Naruto just smiled at this and quickly began to study the scrolls. And Obito just sighed, realizing that he would have to put away all the scrolls. Obito: let's just agree that we put all the scrolls back in place. Naruto: yes, of course. Uzumaki answered and began to sort through the scrolls, and Obito just rolled his eyes and already regretted that he agreed to live together. 3 years have passed since Naruto and Obito became comrades. And during this time, these two became very close. You can say the same about Madara, who began to consider these two his grandchildren, but did not show much feeling. But okay, what about skills? So our hero at the age of 9 was able to reach the level of a weak jonin in techniques. But this is understandable. Our hero mainly uses genjutsu and kenjutsu. And what we will talk about now is genjutsu at the level of the Uchiha clan even without the Sharingan. And if you believe Obito's words, then Uzumaki's genjutsu will be stronger than Itachi Uchiha's. As for kenjutsu, I can only say that Madara passed on all his skills and knowledge, so there would be no shinobi alive now who could resist Naruto. In kenjutsu, only the head of the samurai Mifune can cause inconvenience, and not for long. Okay, the story dragged on a bit, but oh well. Right now our hero and Obito were standing in the hall by the huge statue in front of which Madara was sitting. He called our heroes for the last time. This was evident from his condition. Madara: you probably already realized that I called you for the last time. Naruto and Obito: yes, teacher. Madara: finally, I want to leave you my gift. And these are my eyes. I will ask you, Obito, to transplant one of your eyes to Naruto and the other to me. And you will replace the eye you gave me with mine. Obito: as you say, Madara-sama. Madara: well, that's great. And Naruto: you can take my katana and my little brother's clothes, and you, Obito, take my gunbai and my clothes. Naruto and Obito: thank you, Madara-sama. Madara: you are great. I hope everything works out for you. The god of shinobi said his last words and died closing his eyes. Our heroes shed a single tear, immediately wiped it away, and looking at each other simply nodded and began to prepare everything for the operation. I won't get distracted by the operation. I'll just say that 3 days have passed since the operation. And now Naruto was looking in the mirror at his new eyes. And in these eyes the eternal Manjikyu of Madara Uchiha was visible. But if we approach the mirror, then I can tell you that outwardly our hero began to resemble Madara's younger brother, Izuna. The same long hair, similar facial features, and the same character, and since Naruto was now standing in Izuna's clothes, now it seemed that this was a real Uchiha, and only the blonde hair spoiled everything. Obito: Naruto has long wanted to ask, why do you want to destroy Konoha? Naruto: when I was 3, I was able to listen to the conversation between the 3rd Hokage and Danzo. They said that another scapegoat was needed. And Danzo suggested my father Minato Namikaze. And the old blockhead agreed and in addition suggested blaming my entire family. So they decided that it would be better this way, and they would eventually remove the 4th's face from the Hokage's face. Now tell me, what is your goal? Obito: I want to build a world where I can bring back the one I love. You see, in my youth I was your father's genin. My team included a girl named Rin and my eternal rival Kakashi, who killed my beloved Rin. And so I will kill everyone who gets in my way. I hope you will help me with this. Naruto: sure, so what's our plan? Obito: well, first help Itachi Uchiha to wipe out the Uchiha clan, and then to Akatsuki, but more on that later. Naruto Akatsuki, Madara-sama said that you took over this organization. Obito, yes, I had to sweat for them to become ours. Naruto, what about the Uchiha clan cutout? Obito, the Uchihas want to carry out a coup in the village. The third Hokage was able to calm them down once, but the second time the top of Konoha will not be able to avoid it, and they will have to act radically. Naruto, why can't they destroy the clan themselves? Why Itachi Uchiha? Obito, he volunteered himself, and moreover, his younger brother will be alive according to the agreement. And also, through my connections, he will be a secret agent in Akatsuki and will report everything to the village. Naruto, okay, so we'll hide behind Akatsuki and give Itachi false information. Clever Obito. Obito, we can't let ourselves be discovered. Naruto, okay, let's go. It's time for us to test our new powers on the Uchihas. Obito, good. The two took the masks that were lying on the table and put them on and left the room, heading towards the exit of the shelter. They both understood that soon there would be a bloody night in Konoha. Naruto and Obito stood on one of the far walls of Konoha. They waited for the signal that at least someone would come. Obito, we've been standing here for an hour, and he's still not here. Naruto, I know, I also want to stretch my legs, but if the whole village attacks us, we're dead. Obito, yes, you're right. Our heroes stood like that for another 10 minutes until a man in ANBU armor, and with a mask on his face, appeared in the middle of them. Obito, you've been Itachi for a long time. Itachi, excuse me, Madara-san, but who is that with you? Obito, this is my little brother Izuna. Naruto, let's get started quickly. Itachi, just remember, don't touch the clan head's house. Naruto and Obito, okay, we get it. These three used Shunshin and moved to the territory of the Uchiha clan, but they were apparently already expected there. After all, more than half of the clan was already looking at them with their Sharingan activated. But our heroes were not embarrassed by this, and quickly activating their eyes and taking out their weapons, they began to exterminate the Uchiha clan. The massacre lasted about 20 minutes, and after that time the corpses of the Uchiha were all over the clearing, and in this clearing there was only one Naruto, and he was holding a katana on which there was already a dead Uchiha, and Obito was not nearby. They split up in order to have time to completely clean up. Naruto, it wasn't easy, but I did it. Uchiha, my clanmates have become very weak. The blonde turned his head to the left and saw another Uchiha, but looking into Naruto's eyes he saw the Manjiko Sharingan. But not even 5 seconds passed before the Uchiha fell to his knees. Naruto, you're an idiot who decided that he could go against someone who has the eternal Manjikyu Sharingan. Uchiha, the eternal Manjikyu is nonsense, these are legends you are lying about. Naruto, it's too late to scream and tremble in fear, accept your fate. The blonde swung his katana and the Uchiha's head fell at his feet, while Naruto himself hid the katana and went on to look for his victims. In total, it took the three of them about 2 hours, and when they met, they decided to meet at the Valley of Endings, where Itachi would join the ranks of Akatsuki. 4 years have passed since the Uchiha clan massacre, and now the Akatsuki have all gathered together to discuss their plans for the future. Pain, I'm glad to see you all today. Haiden, come on, man. While I was walking here I spotted a great victim for Jashin. Kakuzu, shut up, Haiden. The sooner we get out of here, the sooner we can go get another order. Naruto, you both shut up. Haiden, hey kid, shut your mouth or I'll make you into a kebab. Kakuzu, Haiden, shut up, I'm not going to put you back together later. Haiden, well, who else will gather whom? Itachi, Haiden, shut your mouth. The Uchiha spoke and looked at the admirer of Jashin, activated by the Manjikyu Sharingan. Haiden fell silent after such a threat, and Itachi turned his gaze to Naruto. The elder Uchiha, looking into Naruto's eyes, was horrified by the power that was hidden there, and quickly turned his gaze to Pain. Pain, so if everyone has spoken, let's continue. I have gathered you all here to inform you that we are starting to act. Today I will issue the first tasks. Itachi with Kisame and Naruto go to Konoha to kill the former Akatsuki member Orochimaru. The Konoha shinobi recently captured this snake. You need to eliminate him as quickly as possible so that he does not tell about our organization. So go immediately. Naruto, okay, the task will be carried out by Pain-sama. Naruto said, and using Shunshin he disappeared from the meeting place. And he appeared in Obito's room, where he was sitting and looking at a portrait of some girl. Naruto, I understand that killing Orochimaru is just a cover. Obito, it's become increasingly difficult to hide my true goals from you. Naruto, so what do I need to do? Obito, open the 4th Hokage's grave and take the second part of the 9 tails. After the mission was announced, Obito felt a monstrous thirst for murder from our hero and could not even turn his head to look at Uzumaki. Naruto, I see you've forgotten what my Obito family means to me. Obito, it's for our purpose, Naruto. You must understand that sooner or later you would have to do this. Naruto, I understand. Our hero spoke with a voice full of despair and sadness. He removed the thirst for murder and Obito was able to turn to Naruto, who had already put on the spiral mask. Uchiha only smiled and threw Naruto a scroll, with a hand gesture asked him to leave the room. To this, Uzumaki only nodded and left the room with the help of Shunshin. And Naruto appeared near Kisame and Itachi, who quickly reacted to the appearance of Uzumaki and put their blades to his body, Kisame to the throat, and Itachi to the heart. Naruto, good reaction. Uzumaki, who was standing behind his companions, spoke. And Kisame and Itachi turned to him with surprised eyes. Kisame, how? Naruto, focus, I'll show you sometime. Itachi, it's amazing to get out of a mess you just got into so quickly. Naruto, let's go, otherwise Orochimaru will quickly crack. Kisame and Itachi, yes. This trio set out for Konoha, and while they are walking towards the village, I will describe the changes that have happened to our hero externally. Naruto has grown a little and has already reached Itachi's shoulder. His hair has become even longer, almost like Madara's, and his bangs also covered his right eye. Before I forget, Naruto dyed his hair black, and also began to wear a ganbai and a braid in a scroll. As for skills, the little monster can give any Kage a run for his money. Especially if we are talking about Kenjutsu, katana mastery has reached a new level, and you will see this in the future. As for techniques, Naruto followed in his father's footsteps and learned the Flying Thunder God technique, and there are a couple more interesting techniques that he himself invented. In Genjutsu, our hero can safely compete with Shursui and Itachi, who are unlikely to withstand the gaze of the eternal Manjiko Sharingan. And while I was telling you all about this, our heroes almost reached Konoha. Naruto, Itachi, you and Kisame go after Orochimaru, and I'll make some noise to make it easier for you to get through. Itachi, okay, Izuna. Kisame, maybe I should go, my Samahata wants blood. Naruto, no, you'll have time to saturate Samahata with ANBU blood. Kisame, okay, let's go, Itachi-san. And so, when Itachi and Kisame left, Naruto took off his Akatsuki cloak and put on a regular black cloak. Our hero headed to the Hokage mountain, where his father's crypt was located. And he got into the crypt without difficulty. It was guarded by only 2 ANBU and there was a protective barrier of rank A. Having bypassed the barrier and the guards, Naruto got into the crypt of the 4th, where there was a stone coffin in the middle of the crypt. Carefully approaching the coffin, Naruto realized that there was another barrier, but this time of rank S+, which would not allow the coffin to be opened. But Naruto remembered that he needed to make noise and decided to activate the alarm to distract the shinobi. And taking hold of the lid of the coffin, Naruto lifted it and threw it into one of the walls of the crypt, thereby damaging the barrier and triggering the alarm. Naruto, hey Dad, I'm sorry for everything I do and everything I'm going to do now. Naruto said and tore off the clothes of the 4th. Uzumaki took out the scroll that Obito gave him and opened the seal on Namake's stomach. Dark orange chakra began to come out from there. After which Uzumaki quickly opened the scroll and activated it, and the scroll began to suck in the 9 tails chakra. The whole procedure took 5 minutes. And in those 5 minutes, the crypt had almost all of Konoha. But as soon as the first shinobi entered the crypt, it exploded. And Naruto moved to the Hokage mountain. But the best shinobi of Konoha were already standing in front of our hero. Hiruzen, and who gave you permission to open the Hokage's crypt, boy? Naruto, what difference does it make to you, old man? Naruto said and released a huge wall of flame at the enemies. Hiruzen, Suetun, tsunami. The old man folded his seals and released an equally huge wall of water from his mouth, and when the 2 walls collided, they destroyed each other, and a huge smoke screen appeared from this. Naruto, Katan, great fire flower. Naruto said and folded the seals. Huge fireballs appeared behind him and flew at great speed at the Konoha shinobi. After the collision, terrifying cries for help and death rattles were heard from the smoke screen. But the curtain was quickly dispelled by the third Hokage, who was already standing in his combat armor with a staff. Naruto noticed that there were much fewer shinobi than there were before, and there were only charred corpses everywhere. Naruto, I thought you had more people, third. Hiruzen, you will pay for this. The old man said and was about to attack, but he saw a fireball behind the intruder, which was sent into the sky not far from the village. Naruto, it seems my friends are already finished. Goodbye, third. Naruto said and finally created about 100 explosive clones, after which he ran away. Hiruzen after him. Don't let him get away. The old man shouted, simultaneously blocking the clone's attack. The clone put the old man into a genjutsu and exploded afterwards. Naruto appeared next to his comrades, who were pretty battered. Naruto, I thought that I had gathered almost the entire village against myself. But looking at you, it seems like you were fighting against the entire village. Itachi Orochimaru broke free and we had to fight him. And the Root Anbu came to his aid. Naruto, I see. Uzumaki said and looked to see if everything was okay with his father's face on the Hokage mountain, after which, having made sure that the explosion was not powerful enough to destroy everything, he finally calmed down. Naruto, is he really dead? Kisame, even if he survived, he is very weak and does not pose a threat. Naruto, as you say, we'll consider him dead. The conversation ended there and our three headed back to the shelter, where everyone was already waiting for them. A few days later, Pain gave Naruto and Tobi, Obito, a new task. The task was for our heroes to carry out the order of the Stone Village to eliminate Kakashi Hatake. Naruto, did they seriously order it or is it just your personal dislike? Obito, who needs this Hatake? IWA avoids him. And as for me, you know everything yourself. He must pay for Rin's death. Naruto, you know Obito. Madara always said that too much emotion would ruin you. Obito, I don't give a shit what he said. Naruto, don't say that, he did a lot for us. Obito, I don't argue with that. But I'll sort out my emotions myself. Naruto, you're an idiot, but it's your business. Why did you take me with you? Obito, so that you cover me if anything happens. Naruto, I see, you're not confident in your abilities. Obito, shut up and let's go. Naruto, why do we have to sort this all out today? Obito, today is the anniversary of Rin's death. Naruto, I see, well then let's get going. The two talked about many things on their way to Konoha, and before they knew it, it was already evening. Stopping 300 meters from the village, our heroes began to think about a plan of action. Naruto, come on, lay out your plan, genius. Obito, Kakashi should have already come to Rin's grave. He spends several hours there, and leaves only in the morning. You and I just need to come to the cemetery and kill Kakashi. Naruto, I see, what about the retreat plan? Obito, he's not here. If the alarm goes off, you and I will split up and meet back at the lair. Naruto, brilliant plan. Obito, let's do without your moralizing. Naruto, as you say, but I want to remind you that it's better not to do this. Obito, everything has already been decided, let's go. Naruto, it's your choice, Obito. Uzumaki stood up from the grass he was sitting on and headed with Uchiha to the Konoha cemetery, where our Uchiha's former friend and teammate was now located. By the way, it wasn't far to the cemetery and they got there without any problems. And as Obito said, Kakashi was in the cemetery, sitting and chatting. Obito approached silently and kicked Kakashi on the head, throwing him away from the grave marker. Kakashi, who are you and why have you come? The Jonin asked a question and tried to get up but couldn't. The blow was so strong that his body didn't obey. Obito, hello Kakashi. Uchiha greeted him and took off his mask, thereby revealing his face to Kakashi, who was already in a state of shock after that. Kakashi, Obito, but how? Obito, don't ask unnecessary questions, you'll die today. Obito said and, closing the distance in an instant, began to beat Hatake half to death. And all this would have continued for a very long time, if not for Naruto, who reminded them that they had little time. At this, the Uchiha only snorted and, taking Hatake by the throat, dragged him to Rin's grave. After which he sat down and began to strangle his former friend. Obito, it's all your fault, Kakashi, you killed Rin. If it weren't for you, everything would have been different. You were the one who should have died that day. Uchiha screamed and at the same time slowly strangled his former friend, who made unsuccessful attempts to escape. But suddenly Uchiha's grip weakened and Kakashi was finally able to look at his friend. Looking at Obito, he saw a katana sticking out of his chest, which had pierced his heart. Uchiha spat out a clot of blood, which landed on Kakashi. Naruto Madara foresaw this outcome and told me that if you break down, I must kill you. Forgive Obito, I thought it wouldn't come to this, but apparently I was wrong, Naruto said and pulled the katana out of Obito's body, after which he pushed the Uchiha off the still-living Kakashi. Obito Rin, I'm coming to you. Naruto, I have given you release from your heartache. Sleep peacefully, my friend. After these words, Uzumaki closed the eyes of the already deceased Uchiha, in which tears appeared. And Kakashi, who was nearby, did not believe his eyes and ears. Naruto, I know that you were my father's student, just like Obito. Consider that I saved you because we are not strangers to each other, and also because I had an order from my teacher. Kakashi, I can't believe my eyes. Obito, he was alive the whole time. Naruto hit Kakashi in the face and grabbed him by the hair and looked Hatake straight in the eyes. Naruto, listen here, that's enough. He died because of hatred and it's better for you not to become like him. Stop being alone, find yourself a wife and have children who will continue your line. Obito couldn't do it, but at least you do it. Otherwise, you'll die useless and forgotten by everyone, and your clan will die with you. I hope you understand me. Uzumaki spoke and turned his attention to Obito. He took the Uchiha's body and was about to leave until Kakashi stopped him. Kakashi, will I be able to say goodbye to him properly? Naruto, yes, I'll send you a raven with his grave site. There you'll be able to talk normally not only with him, but also with Rin. Kakashi, so that's who took Rin's body. Thank you, I really want to talk to them about a lot of things. Naruto, live so that they are proud of you and so that Obito can forgive you. Build a family and do not follow the path of hatred. Naruto said and disappeared with the help of Shunshin from the cemetery where he stood a few seconds ago. And he transferred himself to a small hill, where a beautiful view of the sunrise and sunset opened up. There was already a grave on this hill, and it was not difficult to guess whose it was. Uzumaki laid the body and began to dig a hole with his own hands in order to bury Obito. He spent several hours on the pit, and when he finished, the dawn was practically visible. Naruto, forgive me, Obito. I know that you are now in a better world with your beloved Rin. I thought that you would live with me all your life and first I would die, and then you. I didn't want to see you in the grave so much that I sent you there myself. What an irony, right? But I hope you are doing well, my friend. No, not even that, my brother. And even though we are not related by blood, I am glad that I met you. Be happy, Naruto said and looked at the beautiful sunrise that illuminated the hill. A single tear ran down Uzumaki's cheek, which he did not wipe away right away. He knew that with Obito's death, he had even less humanity left. Naruto returned to the Akatsuki lair a few days later. And as soon as he returned, he was met by Pain, who was clearly unhappy about something. Pain, where is Tobi? Naruto, Nagato, Obito is dead. We need to talk. Pain, how could this happen? Naruto, the third Tsuchikage split him into atoms with his technique. Pain is the damned Tsuchikage. Naruto, let's meet in the evening, we need to discuss some details. Pain, okay, I'll pick you up this evening and take you to my real body. Naruto, I'll wait. Uzumaki walked past Pain and went to his room. Each Akatsuki had their own room in the lair. Well, except for Haiden, he usually slept on the rug, near Kakuzu's door. And everything was more or less normal. Our hero almost entered his room, but suddenly a very familiar voice called out to him. And the black-haired man turned around, and as soon as he turned around he saw Itachi, who crossed his arms over his chest. Kisame was standing behind Itachi, who was also unhappy about something. Naruto, I see, well then, come in and let's talk. Uzumaki gestured with his hand, inviting the renegades to enter. Itachi and Kisame, without thinking twice, entered Naruto's small room. There was a small closet by the wall in the room, and a bed stood not far from this closet. And a little to the left in the middle of the room stood a round table with 3 chairs. Kisame, it's like you knew you'd need another chair. Naruto, don't pay attention, sit down. The trio sat at the table and Naruto created a clone and ordered him to make tea. While the tea was being made, the trio sat silently, and as soon as the tea was brought, Itachi broke the silence. Itachi, so Madara is dead? Naruto, yes, that Tsuchikage didn't even leave his ashes. Itachi, my informant from IWA, reported that there was no order for Kakashi Hatake. Naruto, Itachi-san, you are playing a dangerous game. What is your version of events? Itachi, Izuna-san, you killed Madara. What, to control Akatsuki? Naruto, there is some truth to your version. But unfortunately, I killed him for a different reason. Itachi, and what is this reason? Naruto, you see, it wasn't the real Madara, but you probably figured that out without me. The name of the person who brought you to this organization is Obito Uchiha. Itachi, yes, I know someone like that. But then that means you're not Madara's real brother either. Were you lying to us too? Naruto, no, you're wrong. Uzumaki took off and showed everyone his face. Honestly, with long hair and Uchiha or even Akatsuki clothes, he was an exact copy of Izuna Uchiha, Madara Uchiha's brother. And such a resemblance was even without using the transformation technique. Itachi, it's really you, Izuna-san. Just like in the pictures in the textbooks. Naruto, as you can see, I didn't lie to you. Kisame, and how did you manage to preserve yourself so well? Naruto, this is my Manjikyu Sharingan. It has allowed me to live until now and has allowed me to remain young. Itachi, incredible. Kisame, I am as surprised as your Itachi-san, because before us is one of the legends of the Uchiha clan. Naruto, okay, enough chatter. After I talk to Pain, you two will be receiving the mission from me personally. Itachi, does Pain know your secret? Naruto, no, you are the first in 100 years. Who saw my real face? Kisame, it's amazing, honestly I still can't understand how your Manjikyu Sharingan works. Naruto, my Manjiko was able to slow down my aging time. It keeps me young even though I'm old in my mind. Kisame, I see, so even though your body is young, your mind is already a 100-year-old man. But you were still able to kill Obito. Naruto, that boy wasn't that strong. I dealt with him in a few minutes, and then buried him in the Uchiha hideout. Itachi, I see, then we'll go Izuna-san, it's already dark too. Kisame, yes, Izuna-san, good night. Naruto, good night to you too, boys. Itachi and Kisame left Naruto. And as soon as the door closed, our hero's face changed. He really didn't like the fact that Itachi almost led him to a dead end and almost exposed him. Naruto was thinking what to do with Uchiha, because he can't be killed. In such torment, Uzumaki spent several hours until there was a knock on the door. Pain, thought the black-haired man and hurried to open it. But as soon as Uzumaki opened the door, he saw a girl with purple hair and yellow eyes, with pale purple eyeliner and elaborate piercing under her lower lip. In her hair, she wears a blue origami flower. She was wearing an Akatsuki cloak, and our hero was a little confused by this sight. Girl, my name is Conan. I am here on behalf of Nagato. Please come with me. Naruto, yes, of course. Uzumaki spoke quickly, and he just realized that he was not wearing a mask. But without losing his head, he decided to go without it. After all, everyone was already asleep and no one except Conan and Nagato would see his face. Naruto followed the beautiful Kunoichi. To be honest, he was shocked. He had never seen her in the organization before. Conan, where is your mask? Naruto, excuse me? Conan, I asked where your mask is? You used to wear a mask all the time, and now you don't have one. Naruto, I decided to trust you, because we shouldn't have any secrets from each other. Conan, okay, we're almost there. The girl turned left, and immediately went through the door. Our hero followed right behind her. And the room Uzumaki found himself in was not that small. But there was no furniture in the room, and only Nagato or what was left of him stood there. Naruto looked at the head of Akatsuki very carefully, a man of about 30 with pale skin and red hair that covered the right side of his face. His body was very thin, black tubes were sticking out of his back. The man himself was seated in some kind of machine, apparently to support his life. Naruto, so here we meet Nagato. Nagato, I'm glad to see you too, Izana-san. Honestly, when I heard about Madara's death, it really upset me. Naruto, let's not have any secrets. I killed the pseudo Madara. He went crazy and almost gave our organization to the entire shinobi world. Nagato, so he's been lying to us all this time. Conan, I told you he couldn't be trusted. Nagato, forgive me, Conan, I was wrong. Naruto, honestly, this is all good. Let me know your plans. Nagato, I'll tell you frankly, I don't know what to do next. Naruto, it's clear, the whole plan was probably built only on catching the tailed beasts. And you apparently didn't think about what happened next. Nagato, well, almost the entire plan was built by Uchiha. Naruto, okay, is there anywhere else we can go besides this lair? Nagato, we can go to Amigakure. Naruto, to the village hidden in the rain, interesting. Then I suggest we go there for now and make the village our stronghold. We need to become even stronger now. Nagato, okay then, let's do that. I'll announce it at the morning meeting. Naruto, as you say, Nagato. Conan, and I understand that we must keep your identity a secret from everyone. Naruto, no need, I'll show everyone my face at tomorrow's meeting. Nagato, okay Izana-san, I'm glad that you trusted us and now we can work together. Naruto, I'm glad too. It's late though, I think I'll go back to my room. Good night. Nagato, good night to you too. Conan will show you to your room. To this Uzumaki only nodded and left the room, and Conan followed him. The two walked along the corridor in silence, and only Naruto had a thought in his head about what to do next. The stronghold is already there, and all that remains is to increase the strength. With these thoughts, Uzumaki did not notice how he was already standing on the threshold of his room. He opened the door and practically crossed the threshold. Conan, thank you, Izuna-san. Naruto turned around at this and gave the girl a slight smile, to which Conan's cheeks turned slightly red and she tried to quickly hide it. Naruto, you're welcome. I'll do everything I can to finally bring peace to the shinobi world. The black-haired man spoke and finally entered the room, closing the door. The girl stood for a few more minutes and looked at the closed door. And in her head, the thought was spinning that Izuna-san looked very much like a young Nagato. But when she finally realized that she was staring at the closed door, and how strange it looked, she immediately hurried to leave for her room. A few weeks later, Akatsuki settled in Amigakure. Our hero enjoyed walking in the rain. He walked like that until late at night, and no matter how much Itachi asked him and persuaded him not to do it, Uzumaki didn't care. By the way, during these few weeks that Naruto was in the village, he not only walked in the rain but also eliminated weak spots in the village's defense. He also managed to create a separate ANBU detachment that carried out tasks from Naruto. Also, during this time, he had already sent Itachi and Kisame twice to carry out his personal assignments. Now Naruto, as always, stood on the roof of one of the tallest buildings in the village. It was his favorite place. He stood with his eyes closed, as if looking at the sky. Itachi and Kisame noted that he could stand like that for hours and not even move from the spot. Conan, Izuna-san has called you to Nagato. He said that you need to talk to him, said the newly arrived Kunoichi. From the side it seemed that she couldn't tear her gaze away from the black-haired man. Naruto, and I was wondering when you would let me know about yourself. With these words, Uzumaki first stunned Conan, and then made her blush. But the Kunoichi tried not to show it. Naruto, you know, you're not the first one to come. Kisame and Itachi also like to come here and watch me, and they are also very talkative. I learned a lot from them. Naruto spoke, opening his eyes and turning his head to Conan, who immediately lowered her eyes to the floor so as not to look Uzumaki in the eyes. And to this, the black-haired man only smiled with the corners of his lips and went under the canopy to the Kunoichi. Conan, I'm sorry, I just didn't mean to disturb you. Naruto, it's okay, I understand. Just next time, don't hide and don't try to hide your presence. I'm glad everyone comes here. Even Haiden came here, but he didn't last long. Uzumaki took a towel out of the scroll, then dried his hair a little and wiped his face from the rain. Conan at this time tried not to look at Naruto and not move at all. As soon as Uzumaki finished drying his hair, he looked like a very fluffy cat, and when the Kunoichi raised her eyes to look, she let out a small laugh. At this, Uzumaki smiled and also laughed a little, which surprised the Kunoichi and made her blush again. Naruto, okay, let's go, Nagato is probably already tired of waiting. Conan, let's go, Izuna-san. Naruto, just call me Izuna, no need to be so formal. Conan, good. The girl said and headed inside the building, and Uzumaki followed right behind her. While they were walking to Nagato, There was an awkward silence that no one dared to break. This silence lasted until they reached Nagato, who looked much better than before. Naruto, I see you're feeling better. Nagato, if it weren't for you, Izuna-san, I would have definitely died in a few years. But I think I'll live much longer. Naruto, if you continue the treatment, I think you'll be able to start walking soon. Konan, you hear Nagato, you'll be able to walk soon. The girl did not hide her emotions from these two. Nagato noticed this long ago and was very happy about it, because he had not seen his childhood friend smile for a long time. And at this news, he also sincerely smiled at the girl. Naruto, of course you can be sure. Now let's switch to the topic for which I was called here. Nagato, yes. I thought about it and decided that since our organization has practically become the head of this village, maybe we will leave the old plans to capture the tailed beasts and do everything so that Amigakure becomes a small paradise for all shinobi. We could make this a place where there will be peace, and we will protect this peace. Naruto, that's a good idea, Nagato, but think ahead about what will happen to this paradise after we die. We will have to raise a new strong generation that will protect this paradise. Nagato, yes, I thought about it, and there is no problem. After all, who else but you can raise this generation? You have seen so much and know so much, the children and future shinobi will look up to you. Naruto, you're asking me to become the Kage of this village, am I right? Nagato, yes, who else but you are suitable for this position? This village needs a strong and wise leader. Naruto, you can't argue with that. But forgive me, Nagato, I can't become that leader. Nagato, but why? Naruto, this leader should be you, Nagato, you should lead the people. You have the strength and will that I do not have, that is why I followed you. You will be the one who will create paradise here, and we will help you with this. Nagato, okay, I can see from your eyes that I can't convince you. I hope that I can handle all the difficulties of the Kage. Naruto, we will help you in everything. The main thing is that you do not forget about your ideals and dreams. And even if you ever fall into despair, you will remain yourself and will not turn from the right path. Nagato, I promise you, Izuna-san, that I will create a paradise here for all shinobi. Naruto, okay, but to be on par with the 5 great villages we need some serious power or at least a tailed beast to start with. Konan, but where will we get the tailed one? Naruto, don't worry about it, I already got us a tailed beast. Nagato, and who is this? Naruto, 9-tailed demon fox. Nagato and Konan, 9-tails. The two screamed in surprise, and Naruto only took out the scroll that contained the fox. Naruto, the entire 9-tailed demon fox is sealed here. Nagato, but how? Wasn't it split into 2 by the 4th Hokage? Naruto, yes, that's true, but I found his light and dark parts. And now we have a whole 9 tails. Konan, but how and where did you find it? Naruto, when Kisame, Itachi and I were on a mission to eliminate Orochimaru. I opened the 4th's coffin and took the dark part from him, and then found his son and took the light part of the tailed beast from him. Nagato, yes, I still can't believe it. But even if it is, what are we going to do with him? We have no one to seal him in. Naruto, what do we do with him? As the leader of the village, you will have to come to an agreement with him. Nagato, how do you imagine this? Naruto, I don't know. But get ready and don't be afraid, he won't be able to kill you. Nagato, wait, what did you say? Our hero opened the scroll and Nagato was sucked into the scroll along with his life support apparatus. After Nagato disappeared, our hero put the scroll on the floor. And Konan did not immediately understand what happened and was shocked by everything that was said and happened. Konan, bring back Nagato. Naruto, I'm sorry, I can't. The kunoichi was not satisfied with this answer, and she immediately closed the distance and hit Uzumaki in the stomach, causing him to fall to the ground. The girls sat on Uzumaki and took him for a lively fight. Konan, how come you can't? Naruto, well, that's it, until he comes to an agreement with the fox, he won't be able to leave. Uzumaki barely spoke, still not having recovered from such a strong blow from such a fragile girl at first glance. Konan, how long do we have to wait? Naruto, I don't know. Konan, I see. The girl said and stood up with Uzumaki, went to the scroll. And our hero remained lying and swallowing blood. The black-haired man was very surprised by such strength of the girl. He did not expect this. Naruto, I know that I acted rashly and we can wait for him for several years. But this is necessary for our village. Konan, there is no our village, this is my village with Nagato. We grew up here and went through hell. So don't you dare talk about our village, I'll kill you if he doesn't come back. Konan yelled at Naruto, who was very surprised by the girl's behavior. He didn't think that Nagato meant that much to Konan, although he suspected it. But for now, he decided to leave. Naruto, okay. Konan, no good, go away so that my eyes don't see you until Nagato returns. Interrupted our hero, Kunoichi. To which he simply silently left without making a sound. As soon as he left the door, he bent his index finger on his hand and immediately an Anbu with a mask of the demon of wrath appeared in front of him. Naruto, when Nagato returns, let me know immediately. I'll be on the roof. To this order the Anbu merely nodded and disappeared. And our hero went to the roof to stand in the rain. Honestly, he didn't stand there for long, about 20 minutes. Then an Anbu appeared in front of him. Wrath Izuna-san, I report Nagato-san has returned. Naruto, and half a year hasn't passed. Tell him that I can't come to him yet. Anger, what if he asks for what reason? Naruto, so tell him that your master fell from the roof. Anger, I'm sorry, what do I need to tell him? The Anbu asked again, and Naruto at that moment was already standing at the edge of the roof and taking a step forward began to fall rapidly down. And while he was falling, he thought about what would happen if he died. He thought about how Itachi and Kisame would feel, and most importantly, what Konan would feel if she found out that he was dead. Would she cry or, on the contrary, would she simply ignore the news that he had died? Uzumaki asked himself one single question, why at such a moment he was not thinking about revenge on Konoha, but about a girl he had only known for a month at most. The thought flashed through his head that this was love, but he immediately refuted this thought, calling it nonsense. Behind all this, Naruto did not notice how he was already almost 3 meters from the ground. The speed of the fall was crazy and he would definitely not have time to do anything. But at the last moment, Itachi intercepted him at the very ground. Uzumaki and Uchiha crashed into the ground at great speed, so much so that they bounced off it and flew forward a few meters, until they fell again and finally stopped. All this time, Itachi was pressing Naruto very tightly to himself. He tried to protect him with his body as much as possible from such a fall. Itachi, Izuna-san, what are you doing? Naruto, I'm sorry, Itachi. Naruto said and began to lose consciousness. After all, Naruto took most of the damage from the fall. Our hero felt something warm running down his left cheek. And when his eyes were almost closed, he saw his blood on Itachi's hands. Itachi, damn it, Kisame, get him to the medics quickly. Kisame, yes, Itachi. Kisame managed to hear and see Naruto in front of him before he passed out. And while he was unconscious, Uchiha and Kisame, who grabbed the limp body of Uzumaki, and with all their might hurried to the village hospital in the hope that they could do something. Part 8 Uzumaki opened his eyes and saw a white ceiling with large cracks and yellow spots in front of him. It was clear that the hospital needed urgent repairs. Naruto, am I in hell? The black-haired man spoke and lowered his head and began to examine his ward. And in the ward there was nothing but gray walls and a small table with a chair. Suddenly our hero felt that someone was holding his right hand and looking to the right. He was very surprised it was Itachi. Naruto, Itachi, wake up. We need to talk. Uzumaki patted Uchiha on the left shoulder, which made him wake up instantly and look at Naruto with amazing eyes. It seemed Itachi was about to cry, but it didn't happen. Uchiha put his hand on Uzumaki's head and said, Itachi, Izuna-san, why did you do this? We were all so scared for you. To be honest, at first we didn't even believe that you could do such a reckless act. Naruto, Itachi, just call me Izana and tell Kisame this. And what to do before my action. I just wanted to clarify some nuances for myself. And understand what to do next. Itachi, I see. And what did you clarify and understand for yourself? Naruto, that you don't have to jump off roofs anymore. Itachi, I'm glad you understood that. Naruto, I see you're almost unharmed, Itachi. Itachi, no matter how hard I tried to soften your fall, I couldn't. Naruto, well, I'm alive and for that I thank you and Kisame. And before I forget, tell Kakuzu that all the hospitals in the village need to be repaired, because this place looks more like hell. Itachi, yes, okay, I'll tell him. There are 2 more people who want to talk to you. Naruto, well, go ahead and call me. Itachi stood up from his chair and quickly walked to the door and opened it. After which he waved his hand to invite Nagano and Konan to come in. The black-haired man smiled at the two, to which only Nagato smiled back, and Konan lowered her eyes and began to look at the floor. Naruto, I'm glad to see you, Amikage-sama. And I also see that you've started walking. How long was I in the hospital? Nagato, and I'm glad to see you, but there's no need for such formality. And you've been lying here for a week, and during that time Kurama got me back on my feet with his chakra. Naruto, yes, I've been lying around for a long time. But who is this Kurama? Nagato is the name of the Nine Tails. Naruto, it's surprising to be honest, but I'm glad that you were able to find a common language with him. Nagato, yes, when you fully recover, I will keep you informed. But for now I will leave you, I have urgent matters to attend to. Nagato left the room and left Konan and Naruto alone. The silence was long, it lasted for about 20 minutes. Until the kunoichi finally found the strength to break it. Konan, Izuna-san, did you jump off the roof because of me? Naruto, no. Konan, then why? Naruto, I tried to understand myself. To understand in which direction to move further, and I found answers to my questions. Konan, I apologize for my words. The kunoichi bowed her head to Naruto, but unexpectedly for her, Uzumaki's hand fell on her head. She looked at the black-haired man, who smiled and began to stroke the kunoichi's head. Naruto, never regret your actions, otherwise it will bring you to the grave. I do not resent you for the words that you said to me, on the contrary, I am grateful. All the time I saw you as a fragile girl, but then I was convinced that it is better for me to think ahead. I asked you for forgiveness for what I did to Nagato and for forgetting about your feelings. Uzumaki bowed his head in response and removed his hand from the girl's head. Unexpectedly for our hero, he felt warmth. He raised his head and Konan quickly hugged him, after which she flew out of the ward. Naruto, yes, I think I really have fallen in love with her, Uzumaki said and put his hands behind his head and fell onto the pillow. He began to look at the ceiling. In the end, he caught himself thinking that something really needed to be done with this hospital. A few days later Naruto was finally discharged from the hospital. And during this time, while he was deciding, Kakuzu came to him to discuss the renovation of the hospitals. In the end, they decided that in a few months they would be able to put all the hospitals in order, and would even be able to open several schools for both ordinary shinobi and medical shinobi. Well, now Naruto was moving towards Nagato, who was waiting for our hero not far from the village. Naruto, why didn't we meet in the village? Nagato, then our new friend would have blown her to pieces with his size. Naruto, and who is our new friend? Uzumaki asked and saw how a huge figure with 9 tails appeared behind Nagato. From such a sight the black-haired man smiled with the corners of his lips and looked at Nagato, who was no less happy. Naruto, so this is what you are like Kurama. Nagato, isn't he amazing? Honestly, when I saw him for the first time, I couldn't believe my eyes. Kurama, stop flattering me, Nagato. This is your good friend. Nagato, yes, Kurama. Meet Izuna Uchiha. Kurama just looked at Naruto and realized that it was better not to tell Nagato the truth, that the man standing in front of him was not who he claimed to be. And our hero just smiled and extended his hand to the tailed beast. Naruto, let's get acquainted, Kurama. Kurama, yes, and I'm glad to meet you. The fox extended his paw and roughly speaking they shook hands, or hands and paws or not. In short, they got acquainted, and deciding not to stop there, Nagato asked his shaggy friend to demonstrate his power. To which the fox instantly released a small-tailed bomb into the nearest mountain, which also instantly disappeared. Our hero was convinced that he had not suffered in vain when he pulled the 9-tailed fox out of himself. Part 9 And so, 3 years have passed since Naruto and Kurama met. During this time, all of Akatsuki have done a great job to make Amigakure one of the great hidden villages. What exactly was done, we will tell you briefly. Medicine became better, as did hospitals, and schools for shinobi and shinobi medics were also built, in one of which Tsunade Senju herself taught. The village had many more shinobi. Travelers who stopped in the village of the Hidden Rain carried everything in a small paradise. And already in the first months, the influx of shinobi was stunning. The ranks of the incoming shinobi included such people as Kakashi Hatake, Tsunade, Zabuza Momochi, Haku, Temari and Kankuro, Kabuto Yakushi, etc. All of the listed shinobi found their place in the village. Hatake began to lead all the shinobi. Zabuza Momochi and Haku began training new swordsmen. Temari taught everyone who wanted to master the wind element, and Kankuro and Sasori taught young shinobi the art of puppets. Kabuto began to lead the scientific activities of the village. It can be said that the village flourished, and the first Amikage was very happy with this development of events. Only our hero walked around his house, back and forth, all lost. He hadn't been outside for a long time, and the last person who saw him was Itachi. Naruto, everything is going too well. Have we really taken the first step towards paradise on this earth? And without rivers of blood, as Madara bequeathed to us. Apparently the old man really did go crazy at the end of his life. But I must not forget my own goal. I must take revenge on the third Hokage and Danzo. Uzumaki began to practice talking to himself. He talked about it with Kabuto, and the scientist told him that Naruto needs to stop doing this because it can lead to a personality disorder. But the black-haired one did not listen to Yakushi's recommendations and continued talking to himself. But this did not lead to a personality disorder. Naruto, okay, I need to get myself together and go visit Itachi, Uzumaki said and went to wash himself. While he was washing himself, I will describe to you the changes of the main character. The hair became even longer and almost reached the floor, and now Naruto was the same height as Itachi. Also, many new scars were added on the torso of our main character, especially the scar in the middle of the chest that the nine-tailed beast left him stood out. And he got it when these two decided to check who was stronger. And although Naruto won, the tailed beast's bomb left him a small gift. Well, and so Uzumaki continued to keep fit and did not lose his athletic physique. As for clothes, Naruto was one of the last from the organization who continued to wear the Akatsuki cloak. He still did not put on the rain protector, although he had it. Black pants and black boots did not disappear anywhere in his clothes, and also to his gloomy image were added a gun by a braid, which he no longer hid in a scroll, but wore behind his back. What else can I add? He developed a habit of smoking. He picked up this habit from one of his ANBU. Okay, Naruto quickly gathered, hurried to Itachi, who lived behind the village on one of the small mountains. The path was not long, but very thorny. And while Naruto was walking, he thought about Konan. For 3 years they saw each other little and then usually at meetings that Nagato called. He thought whether he still loved her or she had already forgotten him. Uzumaki did not understand why he communicated so little with her. Someone said that he was always on missions with his ANBU and appeared in the village once every 2 months and then at best. But this version is very easy to refute. The fact that they could communicate at a distance with the help of Naruto's summoning snakes. He received the summoning of snakes with the help of Kabuto. He could think about this forever. But Itachi's hut appeared on the horizon and bad thoughts immediately left his head. Quickly moving to the door, Naruto knocked and a girl opened the door for him, not Itachi. Naruto was very surprised at this. The girl had long brown hair with bangs framing her face and black eyes, as well as a mole under her right eye. She wore a purple shirt and baggy pants. Naruto, hello, I'm Izuna and I've come to see Itachi. Girl, I'm Izumi. I'll call him in a second. Izumi quickly disappeared behind the door, and a few minutes later the door opened. And Itachi was already standing in front of Naruto with a child in his arms, which made the black-haired man very surprised when Itachi managed to settle down so much. Itachi, come in, Izuna, I've been waiting for you. Naruto entered the house and saw a spacious house with 5 or even 6 rooms, and inside it is much bigger than outside, Naruto thought. Uchiha gave the child to Izumi, and with a gesture of his hand asked Uzumaki to follow him. And they came to the kitchen, where they sat on a small sofa, where tea was already standing. Itachi, honestly, I thought you would come much earlier. Naruto, and why did I have to come to you earlier? Itachi, well, Naruto, I saw that something was bothering you in our last meeting. After these words, Naruto was very surprised. no one had called him by his real name for a long time. And after the surprise came curiosity. How did Uchiha know his real name? Naruto, I see. And how long have you known my real name? Itachi, to be honest, since the moment you fell from the roof. When you were falling, I noticed that you looked very similar not only to Madara's younger brother, but also to the fourth Hokage Minato. Naruto Namikaze, you're right. I'm surprised. I'll tell you frankly, no one has called me by my real name for a long time. But never mind about me, I see that you've settled in well here. Itachi, while you were fighting our enemies, everyone settled down well in 3 years and almost everyone had families. Only Konan doesn't have anyone, although all this time who hasn't tried to win the heart of our angel. Naruto, well, you should understand yourself, if I didn't destroy our enemies, then who would? I took this burden upon myself and carried it with pride and honor. Itachi, I don't argue, you did more than all of us. But the only thing you didn't do was be there for the person you love. Naruto, Itachi, I really couldn't. As much as I wanted to, I don't know why. Itachi, I know why. You got so into the role of Izuna Uchiha that you forgot about your real self. You are not an Uchiha, but Naruto Namikaze Uzumaki. Naruto, you're right, friend, I forgot who I really am. Itachi, I take it she doesn't know your real name, right? Naruto, she doesn't know. Itachi, talk to her, or it would be too late. You've fought enough, you need to settle down. Naruto, okay, I'll tell her everything. Thank you, friend, you always knew what I needed. Itachi, well, we are friends and we should help each other. Naruto, Itachi, I came to you not only for advice, but also with news. Itachi, and what's the news? Naruto, Sasuke Uchiha has crossed our border. The shinobi squad that Kakashi sent was completely destroyed. He is coming for you. Itachi, I see, so he came after all. Naruto, you helped me, and I will help you. Itachi, no Naruto, I have to stop him myself. Itachi wanted to get up and stop Naruto, but Uzumaki instantly knocked out Uchiha and put him on the couch. After which he quickly left the hut. Uzumaki quickly determined where Sasuke was with the help of his sensor ability, and went after the younger Uchiha. He reached the younger Uchiha quickly. Fortunately, this idiot was moving towards him. And as soon as there were less than 10 meters left until the meeting of Uchiha and Uzumaki, Sasuke released a fireball at Naruto. Naruto Suiton, Water Dragon. Uzumaki shouted and a huge water dragon flew out of a nearby puddle and destroyed the ball and hit the Uchiha. Naruto, I won't let you kill Itachi. Sasuke, what are you saying? I don't think you can stop me. Naruto, unfortunately, you met an opponent much stronger than yourself. Uzumaki instantly used the Eternal Menjiko Sharingan. He led Uchiha into Genjutsu. And in this Genjutsu the whole truth about the destruction of the Uchiha clan was shown, from which Sasuke was first in shock, and then incredibly angry at Naruto and the heads of the village. And as soon as the illusion ended, Sasuke attacked Naruto with his fists. Uzumaki took all the blows of the Uchiha for granted. The beating continued for about half an hour. Until suddenly Naruto hit back and Sasuke, having received a blow to the jaw, fell on Uzumaki unconscious. Naruto, honestly, I didn't expect there to be so much anger in him. Itachi, why did you let him beat you up? Naruto, well, I'm to blame for the extermination of his clan. Itachi, I am also very guilty of this. Naruto, I think your brother doesn't think so now. Itachi, where are you going now? Naruto, I'll go to Konan. Itachi, in this state? Naruto, don't worry, I'll get myself sorted out. Naruto said and rose from the ground and went home. As soon as he passed Itachi, he realized that he had true friends who would never abandon him. And Itachi turned to Naruto as he left and quietly whispered, "Thank you, friend." After which he went to help his younger brother, who was lying in the mud and unconscious. Part 10 Naruto barely made it home, immediately went to the bathroom. On the way, he took the scissors and took off his outerwear, remaining with a naked torso. Approaching the mirror, he began to cut his long hair and he cut it until his hairstyle became similar to his father's hairstyle, and, having washed off the dye from his hair, he finally became himself. After that, having taken a shower and put on a clean Akatsuki cloak, he went to Konan. Walking through the village. No one could understand who this was walking through the village in an Akatsuki cloak, and even the village police stopped him a couple of times. But Naruto quickly explained who he was and they apologized. Having reached the girl's house, Uzumaki knocked with uncertainty, and they opened the door for him immediately. Konan was shocked. She did not understand who was standing in front of her. Naruto, hello Konan. Konan, Izuna, I didn't recognize you right away. What did you do with your hair? Naruto. Let's sit down, and I'll tell you everything. Konan, okay, come in. Naruto went into the girl's apartment, and was very surprised to see her in home clothes. She was wearing a blue t-shirt and short shorts, and house slippers on her feet. Konan asked him to follow her with a hand gesture, and Uzumaki obediently followed the kunoichi. They sat in the hall where there were many photos from Akatsuki and some from Konan's childhood, where Yahiko was still alive. But looking at all the photos, Naruto did not see himself in any of them. Did he really miss so many? Konan, so what did you want to talk about? Naruto, promised me that you won't interrupt me and will listen to everything I say until the very end. Konan, okay, I give you my word. Naruto, then let's begin. The first thing I want to say is that my real name is Naruto Namikaze Uzumaki. Thirdly, all the time we talked, I didn't lie to you. I really did everything from the bottom of my heart. And I'm sorry that all this time I was far from you and only fought. Thirdly, I love you. I know that this may sound like nonsense, but it's true. And lastly, I'm ready to accept any decision you make after these words. After Naruto finished speaking, the girl didn't know how to react to all this. The silence lasted for several minutes until Konan broke it. And our hero looked at the floor first, and then turned his gaze to the girl. Konan, so you've been hiding your true identity from me all this time. Didn't you trust me and couldn't you tell me earlier? Because we could have gone through all the difficulties together with you. Naruto, I didn't trust anyone, no one knew. Honestly, this confession was very difficult, and now that I confessed, I am overcome with fear of the unknown, because I have always lived in the guise of Izuna Uchiha, and I don't know how to live for real. Konan took Uzumaki's hand and smiled warmly. Uzumaki calmed down and relaxed from such actions. He also smiled warmly at the girl. Konan, now everything will be different, Naruto. We will introduce ourselves to everyone and go through all the difficulties that will arise on our way together. Naruto, thank you. To be honest, I am overwhelmed with a lot of emotions and I don't even know what to say. But Konan knew that there was nothing to say and nothing to do. She went and kissed our hero, which made Uzumaki a little confused, but then he immediately responded to the girl's kiss. But everything comes to an end and they ran out of oxygen, after which they broke the kiss. Naruto, I love you, Konan, Uzumaki said and pulled the girl towards him, causing the two to fall to the floor. But immediately after the fall they began to laugh, and the blonde pulled Konan towards him and hugged her so tightly and tenderly that it seemed as if he was saying that he would not give her to anyone. Konan, I love you too, Naruto, the girl said, and settling on the guy's chest, began to slowly fall asleep. And our hero continued to look at the sleeping girl for several hours until he himself fell asleep. Part 11 Naruto woke up from a delicious smell. He did not understand where the smell was coming from. So he opened his eyes and began to look around. And he saw that he was still lying on the floor, and Konan was not nearby. But after a few seconds the girl entered the room with 2 plates on which there was something delicious. Konan, are you going to stay on the floor? Come on, get up. Naruto, as you say. After these words Naruto immediately stood up, took the plates from the kunoichi and put them on the table, while the girl went to the kitchen for some other reason. And Naruto sat down on the couch and began to wait for his passion. Well, fortunately he did not have to wait long. Konan came and sat on the couch with Uzumaki, but first put 2 cups of tea on the table. Tomorrow passed easily and quickly. The couple talked. The girl tried to find out more about the real Naruto, and Uzumaki answered all the questions honestly and without concealment. After breakfast, Naruto washed the dishes and returned back to Konan, who lay down on his chest and seemed to begin to purr. Konan, Naruto, when are you going to tell Nagato everything? Naruto, today. I won't drag it out. It's better to tell everything at once. I don't want to repeat the same mistake twice. Conan, maybe then we can go together and tell each other. Naruto, I'm sorry Conan, but I have to tell him everything myself. Conan, okay, I understand. And before I forget, maybe you could move in with me. Naruto, okay, as you wish. I'll send clones to bring things. But for now, let me go straight to Nagato. Conan, okay, I'll wait for your return. The girl stood up with Naruto and went to see Uzumaki off. She gave him the Akatsuki cloak which he happily accepted and kissed the girl goodbye and went to the Kage's residence. Walking down the street, no one looked at him with surprise or who could afford to stop him. It was immediately obvious that information spreads quickly throughout the village. While he was walking to the residence, they continued to bow to him. In general, in this village, only two people bow, Nagato, because he is the first Amakage, and Naruto, whom I consider the last Akatsuki, as well as the hero of this village. After all these explanations of mine, Naruto had already managed to reach the residence, and as expected, they let him in without any problems. The Kage's office was on the second floor, and Uzumaki quickly moved and knocked, and as soon as he heard "come in," he immediately entered the office. Nagato, it's good to see you, Izuna. I've already been informed that your appearance has changed a bit. Are you planning to go spy on someone? Naruto, no Nagato, today I came to tell the truth. Nagato, well then, sit down and let's talk. Uzumaki sat down opposite the Amakage's desk, which was completely covered with scrolls and papers, so only Nagato's head was visible. Naruto, so Nagato, listen and don't interrupt. My real name is not Izuna Uchiha, but in fact I am Naruto Namikaze Uzumaki, the son of the 4th Hokage and Kushina Uzumaki. All this time I wore a mask in the name of another person to carry out my plans, but then I realized that all this does not matter when I met you and Conan. I helped you with the fulfillment of your dream from the bottom of my heart, and served you faithfully and truly. And I am ready to accept any punishment. Nagato, to be honest, I'm surprised. But there will be no punishment, even though you wore a mask with someone else's name. You are my friend to whom I owe a lot, so don't worry about anything. Naruto, I'm glad to hear that, but what about the people? They should know the truth. Nagato, you're right, we'll do it this way, look. Since you're practically the last of the Uzumaki, you were afraid to confess, and so you hid. And only I knew your real name. Naruto, good plan. Nagato, I'm glad you told the truth, and I'm even more glad that there are more people in the clan. Naruto, yeah, for 2 people. Nagato, wait, why is it 2? Who's the other one? Naruto, not the second, but the second. This is Conan, I finally confessed to her. Nagato, yes, today is a strange day. Nothing but surprises since the morning. But I'm happy for you, and when are you planning to get married? Naruto, I have one unfinished business that won't let me sleep peacefully at night. Once I finish it, I promise you that I will marry her. Nagato, watch out. I won't let anyone hurt her, Naruto. Naruto, I love her and I don't intend to hurt her. Nagato, that's good. Well, 2 pieces of good news for you too. Naruto, and what kind? Nagato, well, the first is that I can't be both the clan head and the Kage, so you're now the head of the Uzumaki clan. And the second is that we're invited to the meeting of the 5 Kage. Most likely, we'll be recognized as a great village, finally. Naruto, this is truly a morning full of surprises. When are the meetings? Nagato, in a few days, as soon as we tell the people our truth, you and I will immediately go to negotiations. And you and Kakashi with Itachi and Kisame will accompany me. Naruto, why do you need so many guards? Nagato, I'm just playing it safe. Naruto, it's better to leave Itachi and Kisame here. If the village is attacked, they will easily be able to defend the village. It's better for me to go with Kakashi. Nagato, okay, whatever you say. And if you can go, I'm a little busy here. Naruto, okay. Uzumaki quickly left Nagato's office and went first to Kakashi, who followed Naruto's advice and started a family with Tsunade's assistant, Shizen. Now Kakashi had a child who was an exact copy of him as a child. Honestly, when Kakashi saw Naruto, he thought that his teacher was standing in front of him, but Uzumaki explained everything and Kakashi was very happy because his child had a godfather. And Naruto was not against it. After the story about the Kage meetings, our hero headed home, where his beloved girlfriend was already waiting for him, who was furious that Naruto had so many dirty clothes and blood. Part 12 A week passed and the whole village learned the truth about Naruto. Well, of course not real, but that's not the point. And so the whole village, having learned the truth, began to chant the name of our hero, thereby supporting him. Naruto was glad that everything went well. Also, Naruto with Koken now do not live at the girl's house, but in the Uzumaki quarter that Nagato built. There lived several more Uzumaki that Nagato and Naruto found over 3 years. In total, the clan numbered about 15 people. But this was already something. The new head of the clan, everyone immediately liked, to which Nagato sighed with relief. And now our heroes were walking on the snowy land, to the place of negotiations. As it was said in the letter, the negotiations should take place in the land of iron with the samurai. Naruto, and where is our escort, the meeting place? They said that they would meet us as soon as we crossed the border. Nagato, I don't know, but it's good that Kakashi, who's been here before, came with us. Kakashi, yes, I once accompanied the third Hokage here and remembered the way. Naruto, damn samurai always bring surprises. Nagato, no need to quarrel, we came with good intentions. Naruto, as you say, Nagato. After walking a few more kilometers, our three finally reached the samurai temple where the Kage meeting was supposed to take place. Nagato showed the invitation before entering and they were allowed in. On the way, they met the head of the samurai, Mifune. Nagato, I'm glad to meet you, Mifune-sama. Mifune, I'm glad to meet you too, Amikage-san. Nagato, I would like to introduce you to my companions Naruto Uzumaki, who is the head of the Uzumaki clan, and Kakashi Hatake, who is the head of the Hatake clan. Mifune, I'm glad to meet you. Naruto and Kakashi, we are also glad to meet you. We hope that we will not cause you any trouble. Nagato, well then, let's go to the negotiation room. Mifune, honestly, your companions are very unusual, Nagato-san. But let's go to the negotiation room. Mifune led the group to the conference room where all the Kage were already seated. Nagato sat down in the place prepared for him and placed his Kage hat with the others. Mifune, so today we are gathered here to discuss the emergence of a new great village on the shinobi world map, and the emergence of a new Kage. And now there are not 5 of you, but 6. Hey, well, that's up to us to decide. Anoki, I don't mind. The emergence of a new great village and a new Kage in our ranks. Hiruzen, and I'm against it. Gaara, you called me here just to decide whether we are for or against. Are you kidding me? I have so much to do. The Kazekage shouted and left the negotiating area, slamming the door. Everyone was perplexed. No one had ever allowed themselves to do such a thing. Well, I guess I'll agree with it, Tsuchikage. Mifune, apparently my vote decides everything. I'm for the new Kage. Hey, I don't recognize this village. Hiruzen, I support the Reikage.